Hello friends, in this module we'll look at the role of calcium in biology, specifically in blood clotting. Now calcium plays an important role in signal transduction pathways where they act as second messenger in neurotransmitter release from neurons, in contraction of all muscle cell types and in fertilization. Many enzymes require calcium ions as a cofactor, including several of the coagulation factors in blood clotting. Extracellular calcium is also important for maintaining the potential difference across excitable cell membranes as well as proper bone formation. Now in blood clotting, when blood is shed out or collected in a container, we know that it loses its fluidity and it becomes a jelly-like mass after a few minutes. This process is called coagulation or clotting of blood. The clot is a mesh of thin fibrils entangling the blood cells. These fibrils consist of fibrin. The fibrin is formed from fibrinogen. Now there are various factors that are involved in blood clotting. Coagulation of blood occurs through a series of reactions due to the activation of a variety of substances. Two substances necessary for clotting are called clotting factors. The clotting factors are, as you can see, there are a number of factors. Factor 1 is fibrinogen, factor 2 is prothrombin, factor 3 thromboplastin, factor 4 calcium, factor 5 is a labile factor, factor 7 is a stable factor, factor 8 anti-hemophilic factor, factor 9 is called as a Christmas factor, factor 10 is Stuart-Brower factor, factor 11 plasmothromboplastine antecedent, factor 12 is Hegman factor, and factor 13 is fibrin stabilizing factor. So these factors are very important for the formation of clot or in blood clotting. So the sequence of clotting mechanism, let us see what it pertains. Normally during circulation, the blood does not clot because the enzymes involved in clotting are in inactive form. Slight initial activation causes clotting in which each enzyme activates another one in a sequential manner till the conversion of fibrinogen into fibrin. So in general, clotting occurs in three stages, namely formation of prothrombin activator, conversion of prothrombin into thrombin, and conversion of fibrinogen into fibrin. So during the process of blood clotting, the clotting factors which are in inactive forms are converted into the active forms, and the enzymatic actions produce the successive reactions one after another in a cascading manner. Thus, the various reactions involved in blood clotting are explained by an enzyme cascade theory. So, the stage 1 includes formation of prothrombin activator. Now, there are two pathways by which this takes place. One is the extrinsic pathway and the other is the intrinsic pathway. In the extrinsic pathway, the formation of prothrombin activator is initiated by the tissue thromboplastin. And in the intrinsic pathway, the formation of prothrombin activator is initiated by platelets which are within the blood itself. Stage 2 is the conversion of this prothrombin into thrombin. So prothrombin activator converts prothrombin into thrombin in the presence of calcium. So here calcium is required. Thrombin itself can accelerate this reaction by positive feedback mechanism. That is, the initial thrombin activates factor 5. This in turn accelerates the formation of both extrinsic and intrinsic prothrombin activator. And in stage 3, there is conversion of this fibrinogen into fibrin. So what happens at this stage is the soluble fibrinogen is converted into the insoluble fibrin by thrombin. Initially, the fibrinogen is converted into activated fibrinogen, which is called fibrin monomer. This polymerizes with other monomer molecules to form fibrin. The first form fibrin contains loosely arranged strands. This is modified later into dense tight aggregate by fibrin stabilizing factor, and this reaction requires the presence of calcium ions. So we see that calcium plays an important role in the activation of these cofactors. So calcium is required for the activation of factor